Welcome to the Delvin Cox Experience, the podcast, which each week I am on a one-man mission to unite our culture through diversity. I'm your host, Delvin Cox. I have a special guest on the podcast with me today, somebody who should have been on this podcast a long time ago. Let them know who you are, brother.
Hey, welcome to the J-Man Show. I'm J-Man, of course, guest starring on the Delvin Cox Experience from J360 Productions. See, I got you, brother.
That was a great intro. I got to
Thank
give it to you.
Hey, let the people know.
Before. I like it. I like it. Okay. As always, like to start the podcast off with the 5 for 5. 5 questions, 5 answers to get the ball rolling. J-Man, are you ready?
Hey, hit me.
Question number 1. Sprite or 7-Up?
7-Up.
Oh, okay. Interesting answer. I like
Hey,
that though.
love 7-Up, dude.
Question number 2. Nikes or Reeboks?
Gotta go with the Bach, man. Reeboks.
I agree with you on that. I like Reeboks a lot. Question number 3. This is everybody's favorite one. What is the dumbest thing you've done as a kid?
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Don't say that's gonna get you arrested.
Hey, I'm trying to go with what I could go with. Damn. See, I was never really dumb, but I did do some crazy shit. Oh, man. Oh, God. I don't know. I really can't come up with anything for that one.
Wow.
I guess trying to nah. Can't think of one. Oh, wait. Yeah, when I chose the N64 over the PlayStation 1. My damn.
Yeah, that's a dumb move. Not gonna lie. Well, the N64 was good for wrestling games.
It was, but you see, the thing is, Final Fantasy 7 over there, Tomb Raider, like many Street Fighter games that never came to
N64. A lot of them.
I was like, oh, I missed so much, dude. I was ashamed of myself. But
Never
I had Dreamcast
solid.
though later.
Dreamcast was good. I like Dreamcast. Dreamcast one of those gems that not a lot of people. I think a lot of people appreciate it now.
Yeah,
but that wasn't always the case. Yeah, Dreamcast is fine. All right. Question number 4. If you could pick any celebrity to produce content with, who would that celebrity be?
Oh my, it don't matter about gender, right? Just any of them.
Of course, you can pick whoever you want to pick.
No, that was a trick question. Let me. Oh my god!
It's not gonna be like no girls ill. I don't care who you pick.
Shoot, I can't live in a world with no girls ill.
Exactly.
Damn. To be perfectly honest with you, oh god. I mean, Scarlett Johansson's married now, but I would definitely produce content with her.
Who cares if she's married? I didn't have to do anything with it.
I'm just saying, I would. Shoot.
That ring don't mean a damn thing to me.
That's true. You know what? Fuck the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. ScarJo, man. I got to.
Okay. Question number 5. Zombie apocalypse happens Walking Dead style. You can only take 5 things with you to go out in the world and survive. What are the 5 things you're taking? And family and pets do not count because they're automatically assumed to go with you.
Yeah, but they'll also hold me back in case the motherfucker go here.
Well, then you can leave them there. Okay.
They will find their way. God darn it.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta understand. My family and I, we're much like the Saiyans. Oh yeah, we related. Let's fight. Shoot. 5 things to take with me, right? Yes. Okay. Well, there ain't no electricity, so that's half the stuff.
Yes.
I will need.
You what now?
All right. I know I got to go ahead. I got to have peanut butter and jelly on hand, bro.
Okay.
I got to have food. And then you see like bottles of water. And let's see, 3 bottles of water to start with. No, that's 5 things though, isn't that?
You can take a case of water. Now I would count that as one item.
Okay. Case of water.
Okay.
Thing is though, you can use leaves to wipe your butt. So any of y'all were complaining during the pandemic, you didn't, do the Bear Grylls thing.
Yeah. That is accurate.
So I'll be all right with that. And then let's see, got my gun. Shotgun, that is 20 gauge. At least like let's see, 8 to 10 rounds, maybe. Yeah, 10 rounds to get going. And then of course I'm gonna need a blade.
Okay.
So I'll take my katana with me.
Okay.
And then my car.
Well, your car's included, so I'll give you one more. I'm not gonna let you not take the car.
I mean, it ain't no public transportation at this point.
Yeah, you can take one more thing. Like I said, the car is automatically because I'm assuming you're putting all the stuff in the car.
You got to get away.
Yeah.
God, and I gotta sleep. So sleeping bag.
Okay. Those are solid answers.
Because you got to think about survival, man. You hope that you can get where you need to be, but if you arrive to a place that's like tennis, well,
yeah, that's a good point. So, how's it going, man? Let everybody know a little bit about yourself for those who don't know you.
Who don't know me nowadays? I'm just kidding. Well, you know what? To be perfectly honest, I am trying to extend that reach. I am a filmmaker, podcaster, entrepreneur, producer, all the above, if you will. Oh, and also a content creator and writer. And then I operate out of Delaware, but I'm looking to go westward in late 2021. And I'm also working on some new things. And my life's work is J360 Productions. And I also host like 6 different shows.
Never asked me to be in none of his movies or nothing. Just saying, not an extra. I'm not having the LL Cool J part like in Crush Groove. Carrying.
Oh, you know what, man? You're gonna hit somebody with that, right? Why you gotta take the groove out on somebody for? That is messed up, man. Everybody was in that movie back in the 80s and 90s. I mean, of course, I would have a spot for you, man, and everybody else to help me along the way. Come on now, I'm restructuring that side of the company too. So yeah, it's a done deal. So, I just can't have.
Let me ask you.
I just can't have y'all be popping in and saying, "Yeah, this me."
So let me ask you this: how did you start up? Let's hear your story, your startup story. How did you get interested in doing all these type of things that you're doing right now? Because I think it's cool.
Well, let's see. I had a love for it way back in like high school level, but the thing is, I really wanted to follow through on it throughout college. Like college really got me going because I was like, you know what? I want to be the guy who can actually create the new entertainment to be like, similar to Tyler Perry in some ways, but I figured, let me go ahead and do my own thing. Let me create some new stuff. I had a love for radio and I had a love for video tech, and I just wanted to follow it through, man.
I have a question. Because one of my friends, who's a frequent collaborator on this podcast,
is
also a movie producer, director, filmmaker. I call him filmmaker. And one of the things he always asks is, what type of camera are you using?
What type of camera am I using?
Yeah, what type of camera? What are you using to make your movies and your stuff like that? That's the type of things he always wants to know. First thing he asks.
Oh, okay. Well, right now I'm using a Nikon D5600 to go ahead and get some stuff going. And in college, I was using a Panasonic HVC.
So let me ask you this, because filmmaking is a very expensive thing to get into. So how did you even get the idea to do this? What made you want to do it? And who are some directors that kind of inspired you?
Well, let's see. Directors that inspire me, you could say Spike Lee, John Singleton, and Martin Scorsese when he's not on the coke. And and then, of course, M. Night Shyamalan when he's not being predictable. And then also I could say Stanley Kubrick, because while his movies were very long, that suspense factor was similar to Hitchcock. It just kept you soaked in. You had to see how things ended with him. Yeah. So I had those are my top 5. And then, of course, what really got me into it was, like I said, experimenting in video technology, like throughout every single class that I had. Like I had a video tech class back in high school that I volunteered to be a part of. And I just loved the way things work. And then I got more exposed to it when I went on those college trips and stuff. And I always wrote stories growing up too. And I was like, let me just make them into something. I just always loved movies.
And let me ask you this, because I think this is very important. How important do you think it is to be, and how difficult it is for that man to be a black filmmaker or a black creative? Because that's, like I said, like I mentioned earlier, my friend who makes films and stuff named Tony Aaron II and Chris Carter, and they're filmmakers. They make movies, and they always promote Black excellence and Black culture. So I want to ask you how important you think that is to you into your filmmaking. Do you kind of try to preach that into your filmmaking? Are you looking to hire specifically Black people in your roles and things like that? How do you go about this process? I know you're still in the early stages of everything, but I want to know a little bit about your process.
My process, my main goal is to grow and be inclusive to everybody, to bring everybody in and give everybody a chance to start out. None of that whole gatekeeping crap, just to really get everybody together, especially minorities. Like we've always been there. We've always been holding it down. People have, they claim that they don't need us in some ways, but they do. They do.
Yes, very much
And
so.
we carry the film. Let's just be honest. We do. So, and then don't you get tired of seeing the same 5 people and stuff, and they always doing this, and you're like, oh, they improved or they not improved, all that. No, you want to see more people. Everybody's screaming for variety, so let's give them that variety.
I like that answer. I like that answer a lot. Let me ask you about any project that you have so far that we can talk about off the bat. Like, matter of fact, let me ask you about your first project. What is the first thing you've ever started working on when it comes to filmmaking? Content creation.
The first thing I started working on when it came to filmmaking, well, we did a bunch of shorts back in the day, and they're kind of meh, no matter how you feel about it, because when you start out, you're gonna make crazy work. But the one that I started out with, it was called Trash Day, and I played a cannibalistic hobo, and then like I don't know whether I was digging in like a homeboy's trash as the hobo. But my good friend Monda, who's VP of J360 Productions, played as the homeowner. So one way or another had to chase me off of the out of there. It was a comical bit, silent comedy, if you will. And then the other one was called A True Friend, where it dealt with the idea of friendship, whether, how strong is a friendship when like something, unseedy happens, like say like if your lady is sleeping with your best friend and all that kind of stuff. That was an open-ended kind of video that we were dealing with. Like, if anything, it was like a experiment. Like, are you still friends with that person if they tell you something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It went into that sort of scenario. And the third thing I did was a documentary on unemployment, like whether things were really changing or are we still just in trouble? And by the looks of things, I'm going to need to make a sequel to that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that one because that one sounds fascinating. And that's an interesting concept. Where did you come up with the idea? Hey, how do you even go about the process of like, let me make a documentary on unemployment? How did you even come up with that idea?
Well, okay, see, unemployment is just always a significant problem. Like one way or another, they'll tell you that it's low, but then you realize that it's not low. And then there are moments where it's like, do you have enough? Are you qualified for certain jobs you look into? Or are you overqualified, which they'll throw on you? Or are you too old for a job? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I just really got annoyed by like gatekeeping like that. Like we all want, the goal is to have everybody to make it. The goal is to have everybody to go ahead and make a livable income and support their families and all. And then I always wonder, well, what is the real problem? What is holding everybody back? Like, what is the one thing that these so-called big firms use to try to hold us from doing what we need to do? And I always try to find out what the real problem is. But you see, the closer I try to get to the real problem, the more minor problems pop up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it kind of holds things back. And I was like, we need to get to the bottom of this, because that is usually the main crux of things, like homelessness and all that stuff. That stuff developed because people couldn't find a job in some cases.
So what's the process to make a short film of something like that? What research do you go about doing to make this happen?
Oh, the process I go through. Oh, you want to know some secrets, huh?
Oh,
That's
yeah,
what you want to do. Oh, you want to dig.
give me a little bit of the Colonel's secret recipe.
Oh, hell no. I'm just Well, you see, when it comes to doing documentaries or any of these stories that I tell you about, for stories, you're looking like folklore, like stories that, shape us as a culture, as I did on the J-Man show a few times. But you also want to look at like when it's something that really hits, you want to look at like newspapers, but you also want to go a little deeper and see how history starts. Because I was a history buff throughout all of my time in academic background. So you always want to take a look at like where things are, how we've changed, what started in the past, are we making a better future? And I always take notes of things. I always have like journals, man. If you see my collection of journals, that let you know. Because sometimes the most dangerous thing in my hand is not a camera, it's a pen. You see what I'm saying? And I would just have that stuff laid out, dude. Because you got to think like a journalist sometimes. And I'm not talking about celebrity journalists and all those other things out there. I mean, like a real journalist.
I get that. I get that. So let's talk a little bit about your podcast. What's your podcast about for those who don't know?
Which one?
Yeah, let's go to the main one first. I was going to say.
Oh, okay. Well, the J-Man Show, man. That is my main one right there. Originally, that was going to be all about filmmaking and what I go through, like the process, all that. But then I was like, let me talk about real world issues. Let me talk about other things that go on and, also provide some entertainment for people with some satire. One way or another, I will be that one of those top filmmakers, just like Robert Townsend and all. But I go through a lot of hell to do so. And this is pretty much me going ahead and presenting that all out there to you, in addition to making fun of certain things.
All right, stop right there, because you mentioned a name that I haven't heard in a long time that doesn't get enough appreciation and props.
What, Robert Townsend?
Oh, yes. I love Robert Townsend films. I feel like he's one of the best Black filmmakers ever. And
hell yeah.
We don't talk enough about how great he really is.
Oh, man, dude, he opened the door with Hollywood Shuffle. And then his Partners in Crime show. And, all those Black actors he had right there. That was pretty much like our Saturday Night Live a little bit, if you think about it. That and Def Comedy Jam. I mean, think about it.
So, yeah.
You know?
What made you lean towards Robert Townsend in terms of, his art and his career? Like, Hollywood Shuffle is a big one. I feel like, what is it? Media Man was one?
Hell yeah. That was another good one.
I feel like he was the first Black movie superhero.
In a way, he kind of was. I mean, you have him, and then you had Blank Man come out two years or so later, and then you had eventually. It's all about really looking to see how far you get to Blade.
Yeah, and I feel like Media Man was kind of one of the first ones we saw, and I remember it very, very vividly because it was the first time I think I ever remember seeing a Black person portrayed in that light as a superhero, and I thought it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, for its time, yes. And it's still good to this day, to be honest with you. And it took place in a borough that, a lot of people don't talk about, Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody thinks of New York, Chicago. It's funny, though, Baltimore to an extent, too. But, yeah.
They don't talk about Washington, D.C. Not
nearly enough. But that is until we got what's called over there messing things up. But,
Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
Oh, yeah, and I make fun of him, too, because it's one way or another. It's you ever see, Roger Rabbit back in the day, and then, had that villain in there who was a cartoon the whole time?
Yes.
We managed to get that in a public office.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I'm like, what the hell is this?
I can't even remember his name.
Judge Doom.
Yeah, Judge Doom. Yeah.
That was one scary motherfucker, by the way.
Yeah, you're kind of right. It was very creepy for his time in terms of him saying, I remember vividly that ending part where he reveals himself to be a cartoon.
Yeah. Remember, Eddie, when I killed your brother, I sat and it was a high-pitched fucking voice. Oh.
Yes. And then his eyes turned to daggers. I'm like, yeah.
That was some scary shit, bro.
That was kind of creepy. I remember that very vividly well.
You'll never forget. It's one of them scenes that you will never forget.
So let me ask you this, since you mentioned Roger Rabbit. Would you ever want to do a movie like that in terms of animation mixed with real life, a la Space Jam or Roger Rabbit? Because I felt like that was a time, you had Roger Rabbit, you had Cool World, you had the Space Jams, and then it kind of leading away from it.
Well, you see, the problem with some of those movies is based on suspense of disbelief, and then the plot. See, at least with Roger Rabbit, you had Who Framed Roger Rabbit tells you that on the 10, and then you got Space Jam where it deals with, a lot of us love Michael Jordan and him coming back to the game, so they use that as a basis for that. But if you got something like Rocky and Bullwinkle, or you got something like, they're trying to do something with Tom and Jerry now, but I'm like, why? You know what I mean?
Well, they did Rocky and Bullwinkle. It didn't work.
I mean, to a point, it kind of, if you watch the series, they had those little in jokes, but it was just like, it wasn't stellar. It wasn't what it needed to be, put it that way. Like, but I would love to do something like that. And then you got the Happy Town murders with the puppets and stuff. And then I'm like, how are you guys not liking this film? It's Muppets.
I never seen that one.
Yeah, that is actually pretty good. It's not bad. Oh boy, but I was just sitting there thinking that, yeah, I would love to do something like that. Like, I love animation. Like, I have a huge animation collection too.
I do too. I have a lot of animation, to say the least.
Hells yeah. You got Animaniacs, man? I know you do. Come on.
Yes, I do.
Good man.
I have Animaniacs. I have Tiny Toons. I have...
Yes.
It goes with a throwback people don't know about. A lot of people don't know about. I have Saber Ride and the Star Sheriffs.
What?
Yes, I have Dungeons and Dragons.
My dude. Yes.
I have Captain N. I have a lot of DVDs.
Wait, Captain N. He came out?
Captain N, yes, they have a Captain N DVD.
Damn, I gotta go. I gotta get
it. It's probably expensive now that I think about it now.
Hey man, give me some hope here.
Jesus. I bought it years ago. It came out. I forget the name of the company. It's the company that kind of puts out a whole bunch of old cartoon shows on DVDs.
Oh, Shout Factory?
Yes.
There it is.
On Shout Factory a few years back, and I got
Hells yeah. Oh my god, that's great. Then that means that the Legend of Zelda one came out too. So I got to pick those up.
I have that as well.
Good man. How about He-Man?
I have He-Man. I have the original He-Man show. I don't have the New Adventures of He-Man.
To hell with that, man. That one sucks. But you know what? I'm saving you some time.
Yeah.
I hated that when I was a kid. By the way, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Fantastic. I have that one, and I have the 2012 reboot.
Good man.
Yeah, I have a huge collection of cartoons, like literally a lot.
Oh man, see, there it is. Now I got to keep an eye out for my competition, Mr. Delvin Cox. Put him on the list. We'll be fighting on eBay in no time.
So let me ask you this: since we talk about cartoons now,
oh yeah,
what were your favorite Black-centric cartoons in the 90s? Because there was a lot more than people talk about.
I remember Wayne Head was all right.
Wayne Head's one.
Kid and Play. There was, yep. Oh my God. You know something? I've been trying to look for some DVDs on that, and I've only found one episode on YouTube. And I was like,
I did too. Yeah, I've only found that one episode.
That's when they tried to do that club in that abandoned building.
Yeah. I mostly find VHSs of Kid and Play.
I mean, did anybody really like Hammerman? Let's just be real. Did anybody really like?
Not really.
I mean, I thought Hammerman was just really, really corny. Dancing Shoes? Come on, man.
Pro Stars was good. I like Pro Stars.
That one was all right. Yeah, that one was all right.
I'm trying to think of some more shows like that.
Well, you know, the guy who did the Proud Family, and I know that's out of our area, but he also did Bebe's Kids back in the day, and I used to love that all the time because the artwork.
Yeah, Bebe's Kids was fantastic. I used to love that movie. Robin Harris, excellent.
Hell yeah, man. Cut off before his time.
Way before his time. I just feel like there was a time where we get weird cartoon shows like that. Out of the blue, out of movies and stuff that probably shouldn't have had cartoon shows, like for example, Kid and Play. House Party, by no circumstances, was a movie that was for kids.
And yet we watched it as kids.
Yeah, exactly. Yet we watched it as kids, and they made a cartoon show about it.
That's because Kid and Play were just so likable, man. Like the things that they would get into and all this stuff. And they even had them on there hosting a couple of cartoon blocks back in the day. So, I mean, you know, you could easily like approach them. And that was what was so cool about it.
Yeah, I agree. Also, I'm trying to think of some more. Static Shock was one that came out.
Static Shock is great.
Great show. I think revolutionary for its time. And people don't talk about how that's kind of an extension of the Batman animated series universe.
Because a long time ago it was Milestone Comics, and then Milestone, didn't they get bought out by DC or something like that, and then they just got integrated?
Yes,
and then like
so.
and it actually works because Static does grow up to become part of the Justice League. So that's
Yes.
just really awesome.
The Milestone thing was kind of weird because when DC bought them, they were like, yeah, we're going to use Icon and we're going to use Static. We're not going to really use the rest of you guys like Blood Syndicate and stuff like that. I used to read Milestone comics a lot when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, damn, I really want to see Blood Syndicate on TV or something like that.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? They've been kind of open about this kind of stuff now. I don't see why they couldn't do anything with them. You know what I mean? Things are not as censored as they used to be. They're getting away with a lot of stuff now.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that could work. But you know, it's not any different than like say like when IDW buys out a small up and coming publisher, or say like Valiant Comics, because there's quite a lot of people in Valiant they don't use.
A lot of people in Valiant they don't use.
Which is sad, because that was like number 4 out of the comic industries there. I see most people talk about DC, or Marvel. They'll sometimes talk about Dark Horse due to Hellboy, which, by the way, we need a Hellboy 3. Not reboot Hellboy, but Hellboy 3.
You know, I've never seen the original Hellboy movies.
Oh, dude, you got to.
I saw the reboot, and I'm like, oh.
Hey, man.
And it's not what his name's fault.
Oh, no, it's not David Halbert's fault. It's whoever wrote the script for that. I mean, more or less, it was just like they wanted to bring the Antichrist and they needed Hellboy's genes to do it. Yeah. And then Lone Mila Jovovich wanted to jump the bones.
Yeah, that wasn't a good script at all.
Nah.
So let's talk about your other podcast, because you do a number of podcasts and Twitch.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
I'll let you pick which one you want to talk about next.
Well, let's see. I can talk about like them in one sentence. Let's see. The mini bites, which is me talking about real world stuff from like 10 to 15 minutes. And then of course, you know, there's the crossover show that's coming soon, which we're doing right now. I get to go ahead and have a panel with you guys and we talk about things for at least an hour or two. And then there's J360 Jams, which is the music party show that comes every other week. And that usually lasts for about 2 hours or so.
Okay.
And then of course, what?
To let us know about that music party show. I asked this for a reason.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit more about this show.
Oh, yeah. Where I go ahead and I show a spotlight on indie musicians that are up and coming and help them get where they need to be. Like I said, I'm building a community for everybody. So that actually works with the musical artists out here, because they put a lot into their work, just like filmmakers, podcasters, and so on. So if anything, we should help give them a leg up. You know what I mean?
Funny you should mention that. I said this for a specific reason, because one, I know a rapper who would be great on this.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. And two, I know a DJ who would be great on this.
Okay.
The rapper, his name is Vision. He's a rapper. Me and him grew up together. And the DJ, I actually do a podcast with called I'm the Podcaster. He's the DJ. His name's Tim Hines. He DJs every Tuesday on Twitch. And he's very good DJ. DJs house music and stuff like that. He's really good. Think you guys should get together and do something together. I think that'd be cool.
That'll be all right, man, because I'm open. Like, I don't keep it to one genre specific, right? I'm like, you know what? In a music store, you can do that. But for here, this is the party. I want everybody at front and center. Come on, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I think that's dope. I like the fact that you're ambitious and that you kind of have your hands into a lot of different things, but you seem to have a good handle on it.
Thank you. There goes my phone. Damn this thing. I can't win. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's your trademark.
You know it, man.
So tell me a little bit about your Twitch channel, because I know you do Twitch as well.
Okay, well, that is the start of J360 TV you're seeing there. You're going to be seeing some video footage of me and the crew doing some antic stuff now and again, but you'll also be seeing like what I told you about the documentary and and some of the short films we make. You know, go ahead and give them some press right there, show them to you guys live. And then in addition to, they'll be sent over to YouTube, because Twitch won't let you have like, you know, take up their space and stuff, not unless you're like a partner or whatever. So I'm like, why wait on that? We'll just use it in conjunction with the YouTube channel. But the serial that I have on there right now is called the J360 Power Play, where I play through multiple different retro games and some new releases, but mostly retro gaming, because I have a list of games that I still have yet to beat.
I like the idea. I like the concept of it. What games you have yet to beat? Let's,
Oh, you
and
got
what are
enough
you
time
playing
to
on, by the
show
way?
for that?
And what are we playing on? Are we playing on PlayStation, Xbox? Which one we rocking with right now?
Well, multiple systems always, but what we're doing right now is we're handling BioShock on the PS4.
Okay.
Try to
Did
get through the whole adventure.
you get a chance to get a PS5 yet?
Nah, bruh. A matter of fact, like I said, when I got all that stuff to play, I really don't see myself upgrading, not yet until April. Plus, I want to see like how many people's launch consoles actually survive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now they all have problems with them and stuff.
Yeah, that's a fact. That seems to always happen. You get like 10% of the consoles acting funny and funky.
And then like, yeah, y'all was ahead of the game for a little bit, but look at you. $500 out, are we? Like I did like all the rat racing they did the pre-order. Like, I'm not angry if you pre-order or anybody else does, but I always look at it, I'm like, I can wait. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna redesign the stuff anyway.
Yeah, that's always been a thing. They're gonna redesign it, make it bigger, faster, better, quicker. Well, in this PlayStation case, smaller,
Oh
because
yeah.
the new PlayStation 5 is huge. It's like
Yeah, yeah, it is, isn't it?
it's really big.
And you see like how many people like just try to put it in spots where it's not supposed to be, and it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, I've seen that as well.
Mm.
So let me ask you this: who are some creators that you want to collaborate with?
Well, let's see. Who haven't I met up with yet? Dang. Because for a while there, I had top five where it was you, Rob, beat him down from Colt 45,
Okay.
and God, what were the other two were very important because I can't think of them now. Uh,
So important. You forgot who
yeah,
they are.
right. Shoot, I think one of them doesn't even have a show anymore. But God, I can't think of the other two, man. Buzz is gone.
I think the three you named are pretty solid people.
That's because because one was you, right?
Damn right.
There it is. See, there it is. But see, and the thing is, that's why I'm creating the crossover show because I'm like, you know what? I met a lot of you guys too, and hey, I'm not just doing the Spider-Man thing. I got to do a Marvel team up thing too. So that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, eventually you have to come together. I think that's something I always preach with creators in general, and I like to see more black creators is that we be able to come together and form our Avengers and not just have our own cliques, but have other cliques that we connect with and build our community. Because the more we work together, the more we build, the bigger we really can be, the bigger our audiences can be, and we all can grow together and be successful. I think that's what I love about podcasting the most: watching communities grow and get bigger, and seeing people that I know or I've helped grow meet other people that I've helped grow, and they do that thing together without me. And like, hey, let's bring them back in. I think that's so dope to see people get together that I know tangentially, I know very well, and do their own thing together. I find it awesome.
Of course, you got to do that, man. Like, and then the best part about all that stuff is being humble. Like, you really got to be humble too.
Yeah.
You know, because see, some people they get that little attention, get that little money coming in from Patreon that they don't report on their taxes,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden they think they're bigger than everybody.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I
And,
mean, it's just like you got to be humble.
yeah, and I think we're in an interesting time now because podcast is probably bigger than it's ever been before.
Hmm.
So a lot of people are trying to get into the podcasting game and do their thing, and that's cool. I appreciate people doing that and seeing it, but we also have to learn that this is not easy. This takes work and time and effort.
Oh yeah,
Just like a filmmaker, I'm quite sure it takes work, time, and effort getting that crew together and do what you got to do.
indeed. And you gotta pitch your story out, and then chances are you get hit with the big R, reject. Like rejection pop up right everywhere and all that stuff. And I feel sorry for anybody that can't handle it, man, because that's like your first lesson.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: how have you been able to deal with and handle the rejection in terms of that? Because that seems like something that, while it's hard, it seems like it's something that you have to learn how to cope with and deal with to become better.
Mm. Oh, dude, like so many of my ideas, like when I pitched them to other people, like they would slap it down. They wouldn't want to hear it or anything. And you see, the thing is, I had to keep carrying on with it. It's like playing baseball. You know, you got to figure this. Like all the major hitters that we know about, like Frank Thomas, like he was known as the Big Hurt because of all the many times that he would do grand slams and stuff. But he also struck out a bunch of times too. So you got to figure this. But he kept playing, right? So you got to keep playing. That's just the way it is. Give them another story. You should always have like at least 2 to 3 stories in your head, because that first one might fail. So give them another one. You got
I
to keep
like that.
playing the game.
I like that idea. I like that advice to give to people. So
Mm-hmm.
let's hear some more advice. Let's give me 3 things you recommend for anybody who wants to get in filmmaking to do.
Okay. Well, I recommend them to go ahead and take a look at some movies that they like, and then look at some movies that they don't like, and then see like how you could fix that movie. So while you think about how you can fix that movie, start writing down little notes, and then you take a look at those notes and you start turning them into stories. And then when you turn them into stories, make sure you get like at least enough, because how many pages you have is 1 minute worth of screen time. So say like if you have like 10 pages, that's 10 minutes of screen time, 15, so on, things like that. Start small and go ahead and get your skill set up. Take a look at like how different shots are made. Then you start getting technical as you start, building your skill set up, and talk to a few of your friends there too. And then after a while, when you work that stuff out, you got a little crew there, but at the same time, your friends can also hold you back. So you got to be open to meeting other people that are serious about it. So volunteer at like theater programs and all, like really get out there. It's a process. You got to roll with it. Failures too. But you only really fail when you quit. Dev, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm still here. I said that's really good advice. That's perfect advice for somebody to take and to learn off of and build their career off of. I think, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and then at the same time, don't be a dictator.
Yeah.
Don't be that director. Like, there's plenty of time to do that McG crap, but you do it like when you're at the gym or you're boxing or something like that. And if anything, find a hobby that gets you away from it if it's really stressful. You know what I mean? Like, play a little pool, but don't hustle. Things like that.
Yeah.
Play video games. Come up with some ideas, and then there are ways to do these things. You got to always be taking care of yourself too. Because if it doesn't come together at that time, it'll come together at another time.
Okay. Who is your dream artist to work with in terms of movies?
Mm.
Whether it's actors, directors, whoever you want to pick. That's why I said artists in general. I didn't want to just limit you just to actors.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I'm just trying to go through the book because quite a lot of surprising people have passed on in this year alone. So I can't use him, but I know that there's other actors out there I would like to work with. Honestly, I wouldn't mind working with God, the man who played as Mordo and Doctor Strange. I'm sure that we can make a couple of
I
great
know his
films.
name, but I cannot pronounce it at all. It's Chieford something. Eckerford or
Yeah,
something like that. I can't remember. I can't pronounce it. I
yeah, it's
know you're
like,
talking.
but I definitely would love to work with him.
He's a really good actor.
And then Michael B. Jordan, yeah, he would be great to work with. Of course, he's about to do his own thing, so I'm gonna have to really work on some leverage to get to that level. But like if anything, like any of them guys from Stomp the Yard or any black film you've ever seen, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you'll see about the most of them in here, but you'll never see them again unless they get handpicked and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, you have talent here. Oh, and Megan Good, by the way.
Oh, that's a
Come
good
on,
choice.
man. How could you not work with Megan Good? I mean, let's just be real.
That's a good choice.
Indeed.
See, now it's driving me crazy because I want to know how to pronounce this guy's name. Okay, let's see. Chia. I cannot pronounce this guy's name for nothing. Google it. Pass the most with this. Chiwetel Ejiofor, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Well, yeah, let's just call it Ekafor right there. You know, just take a little time.
Yeah.
Yeah, work with Mr. Ekafor. That'd be great because he was in 12 Years a Slave, and he was also the voice of Scar in the Lion King reboot that they did.
Which I haven't seen.
Honestly, it's pretty good. It has its moments where you're like, come on, man, I like the animation one better. But other than that, though, it really held its own. I enjoyed it.
I had to check that one out. Me and my daughter just watched the Mulan one.
Hey, how'd that go?
Oh, she was not a fan.
And
it's not that it's a bad movie. And I think I agree with her on this. It's just generic because all the heart and fun in Mulan was in the songs and the music and the Mushu and stuff like that. And when you take those characters out of Mulan, it doesn't have the same amount of heart.
That makes sense.
So it does like a generic action movie, which is fine.
But I mean, when you got one of those kind of movies that like say like you love the earlier version, but then this is supposed to be the bigger, badder reboot.
Yeah.
And it just didn't work because it just didn't have that appeal.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what it is. And the funny thing about it is we felt the opposite about Aladdin.
Really?
Like me and her watched Aladdin together, and she loved Aladdin. I mean, to the point where she's like, the cartoon one and this one are both worth seeing because they're both very different and both very entertaining. Like Will Smith is great as a genie.
Yeah, I don't know why everybody was pissed at him. I was like, yo, he's doing a great job.
He's fantastic as a genie, and it's a different take on it. That's nothing like Robin Williams' take.
Yeah, it didn't need to be. Like it was awesome to me. I love the Aladdin movie.
Yeah, it was really good, and she enjoyed the heck out of it. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I didn't think I was gonna like it.
But then all of a sudden it charmed you. The only problem I had with Aladdin though was Jafar seemed a lot more passive aggressive than ambitious if you think about it.
I agree with that.
He was kind of like, if you ever look at well, you've seen the Disney movie, that man was crazy. Yes. He was going to have it his way or no way. But in this one, he's like, I see you, Aladdin. I know you're not really who you are. Yeah. Things like that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I like the changes that this movie made, Aladdin made for the live action. A lot. Like the whole thing where the princess is the princess, and they're kind of like, well, at the end, she's pretty much the queen.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was totally on point. And she could sing. Like I didn't have a problem with that. You ever meet like some people that cast those ones in singing roles and they can't sing for shit?
Yeah, that is a lot of movies.
It's like
a lot of movies. Well, I'm like, yeah, you probably should have cast somebody who can sing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, which by the way, the ones that are really mad, they're mad about that whole Little Mermaid thing too. I was like, really? The girl can sing. Let her sing.
I forgot that was a thing. I legit forgot that. I want to say I forgot because of the pandemic, and so much stuff has got pushed back now. I don't even know what's coming out and when it's coming out.
Journals, brother. That's the thing I always pay attention.
Like because they just announced, I want to say today or yesterday, that Wonder Woman is now going to come to theaters and HBO Max on Christmas Day.
Well, see, that's interesting, but how many people are actually going to go to the movies on Christmas Day? That's the thing. I mean, there are people that do, but they never said anything about no openings for theaters.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to me. But put it on HBO Max, it could work. At least VOD's exploding.
Well, that definitely is exploding. In Miami, where I'm at, you can go to the theaters, but what people are doing who go, they're renting out the whole theater because you can rent out a whole theater now for like $150.
Nice.
And just have the theater to yourself and see what you want to see. I guess like, because I was thinking about doing is actually like taking me and my kids and a couple of people and going to see Tenet that way.
Oh, okay.
But people said Tenet is horrible, so I'm not going to see it.
Hey, okay, look. It's Christopher Nolan's latest, right?
Yes.
The man already blew you away with Inception. Just give this a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, that's just the way it goes. It's like, come on, man. It's like when everybody was mad at The Village, like when M. Night Shyamalan did it. And I was like, come on. He already blew you away with, you know what I'm saying?
I wasn't mad at The Village. I thought it was just an okay movie. People were like, "Oh, it's the worst movie." I'm like, "It's okay."
Well, that's because the twist was predictable. I mean, you knew it was the people eating other people.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I mean, like,
Spoilers for The Village for those who didn't know. Come on, but yeah.
Look, the movie been out for well over 6 years. I'm sure they can handle it.
Yeah.
Deal with it. Deal with it. Hey, let me help him out with another one. Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father. There you go. Yeah, you happy? Go on now. Your mind blown? Oh my God! And Leia's his sister, and they tongue kissed in Empire Strikes Back. The Force is a troll. There you go.
That actually happened.
There you go.
That was actually a thing.
And by the way, the sequel trilogy wasn't going to explain anything except you paying in. That's it. And you don't get no receipt on it. No payoff at all.
In retrospect, that's kind of what happened.
Yes.
Like, they open up a whole bunch of plot threads.
You damn right, sir.
And
so many questions.
And didn't close a single damn one of them.
Not at all. Oh, see, that's why I love the sequel trilogy, because the whole damn thing was fucked up. But I hate the sequel trilogy because it exists. See, things like that.
Yeah. And it's funny because I just got off an episode talking about this exact same thing, about how much because I love The Force Awakens. I mean, like, it's like one of my favorite Star Wars movies. That's how much I love The Force Awakens. But
I mean, it started off strong, but go on.
But The Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker, I dislike so much. It's amazing. I went from
right.
Love to, especially Last Jedi. I hate The Last Jedi. I cannot stand that movie. And I own 2 copies of the movie somehow.
I know, right? I'm the same way with Ghost Rider too, but go on.
Yeah. And it's just, I won't say it killed my love for Star Wars, but I will say this. After the movies, the Star Wars, I guess call it the Skywalker trilogy, after that ended, and you see people who are in the movie come out and kind of say and not say, yeah, this movie was trash. We didn't like it. I feel justified. Like Finn came out, his name not Finn.
Yeah, John Boyega came out and said all that shit.
Kind of said like, yeah, I did not like The Last Jedi. I didn't like how they treated us. They minimized our roles. Like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, I felt the exact same way.
Homeboy didn't care at all. Matter of fact, he left the script out in his hotel room. He didn't even care.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
That is awesome. I was like, yeah, if you're gonna burn a bridge with Lucasfilms, you might as well do it that way.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It wasn't like he was in the fucking movie,
right?
What are they gonna read? His 5 lines from The Last Jedi? Fuck off.
Right.
I hated that movie so much.
Oh, them movie. Oh my God. Like this sequel trilogy. Every time I look at it being over there, I'm like, you know what? Let me get some scissors.
Yeah.
Help you all out. Because the movie ended as soon as they had that celebration on Endor. Anything else is just DLC. Just take a look.
Yeah. I think that's perfect. That's perfect in this episode.
It's the truth.
Oh man, that was so depressing.
Oh my God, it was. But you know, Trevorrow, the guy who does Jurassic World.
Yes.
He actually talked about the notes that he had.
I saw that.
All that stuff was actually like, oh my God, right here. Why didn't you listen to him?
Way better. His notes for the last people who are listening to this episode. Go look up his notes for The Last Jedi. I think it's Colin Trevorrow.
And it was called Duel of Fates.
Yes.
That was so, it sells right there.
It was so much better than what The Last Jedi was. In terms of like, you get the fight with the Knights of Ren. You get everything that you were looking for in this movie.
It was all set up right there. Like just right there. But, boy, you can't do a Snyder cut to that. So let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Oh God. And then like pissed off all the 3 main actors so they don't want to deal with it no more.
Yeah. which is baffling to me.
That's how you know. See this right here. This is major filmmaking right there. That's once again too many cooks in the kitchen just messing that whole thing up. And the same thing could be for the original cut of Justice League too, or if you really want to go back, BVS.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Mm.
Too
But
many cooks in the kitchen.
I mean, to be honest with you, though, I did like Ben Affleck as Batman. I'll never understand that. I'll never understand people's hate on that.
I did too. I think I want to see more of that Batman. I hate the fact that we're gonna get the Snyder Cut, but it doesn't seem like maybe we will, but we're not gonna see enough. It sucks that we're not gonna get a Ben Affleck Batman film. That's what I'll say about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was right there, ripe for the taking. I'm just like, come on, man. Like, I don't know whether it's the hate from the fans or was it the hate from the people in the studio, but somebody over there should have got fired before Ben decided to leave. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I would really want to see his take on in terms of a full-fledged Batman film and where he was going to take it in terms of how dark he would get with it. I was interested in that aspect of. I know people are like, "Oh, Batman's killing." Like, I don't care at this point. I get that Batman's no killing rule is a thing, but let's be honest. In the movies, he's been kind of fast and loose with that rule. So it's like, all right, let's see what this Ben Affleck version does.
Right. I mean, but then they have not seen in Batman 1989 where he was dropping them down left and right, and throwing them out shit. Like one way or another. Yeah, he didn't technically kill him, but the fall did, right? Do you see things like that? But then in Batman Returns, there was a bomb scene where he took the explosive, put it on the crook.
Yeah, straight up killed that guy.
Like if anything, there's open holes to that whole no killing rule. If anything, that stuff it's enforced highly now, but back in the day, it was very loose.
Movie wise, it's very loose. In comics, it's a little less loose. Well, at least modern comics, because the old age Batman comics, he was straight up killing and not.
Oh
matter
yeah.
of fact, Joker, the first appearance of Joker, I think Joker died in that first appearance.
Didn't he though?
Batman straight up killed him in that first appearance of Joker. They're just like, no, we like this character a lot. Let's bring him back.
Well, that's the thing about comics, man. Like Norman should have been dead for many years, but he still just comes back to haunt Peter's life.
Yeah.
So it's like,
man, this has been a blast, brother.
You know it, man. Hey, I always bring the party to you guys, similar like how Mr. Stark does.
I agree. That's the perfect way to end this episode. Let them know where to find you at, brother.
Well, you see, as I am working on things, you can find me at j360productions.com, or you can go and talk to me on Twitter at j360productions. If it's j360 productions, that's usually me. So you can find me anywhere with that.
Awesome. Where can they find any of your short films? If anything they want to check out your work.
Okay, well, let's see. I don't have the link for the YouTube channel yet. I still got to get my 100 subscribers. By the way, subscribe to me. And then if you want to find those things, you can go on twitch.tv/J360TV. And then, of course, I also have a Flow page, which is flow.page/J360Productions. And you can see all my links right there, including the podcast.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for coming on, brother.
No problem, man.
And as always, Delvin Cox Experience, we are out. Peace.